Do you ever want to be infamous? Well, today we're going to go over Juan Corona, technically the first and the most prolific serial killer of starting in the 70s.
We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Me Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives, week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, angry faithful. Yes, today we're going to go over Juan Corona. I knew about this guy for a while. I didn't do it because I didn't want to say Corona the entire time and get dinged and because of the coronavirus. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and begin. John Corona was born in let Stephen Hawking do this one. Stephen Hawking, from the grave, please give us the answers we seek.
Otlin Jalisco
Mesco on February 7th, 1934, first entering the United States in 1950, crossing the border into California at age 16. He picked carrots and melons in the Imperial Valley for 3 months before moving north in Sacramento Valley. His half-brother, Jose Novedea Corona Sanchez, December 30th, 1921 to May 23rd, 1973, had immigrated into California in 1944 to work and settle in Maryville, across the Feather River of Yobaba City. In May 1953, Corona moved to Maryville, Yoboba City area at the suggestion of Navidea, finding work in a local ranch. He was first to marry Gabrielle E. Hermanos on October 24th, 1953, in Reno, Nevada. In 1959, he married Gloria It's just an I on that one. They didn't say the middle name. Morona, and they had 4 daughters. That's just a small bit. In January 1956, after suffering what is thought to be a schizophrenic episode, Navida had Corona committed to Delwitt State Hospital in Urban, California, where he was diagnosed with schizophrenic reaction and paranoia type. Corona received 23 shock treatments before being pronounced recovered and released 3 months later. Jesus. I never got the shock treatment stuff. I don't think it really works. Now if you had something around your neck, like a dog shock collar, and anytime you try to grab something or try to stab somebody, someone give you a shock, yeah, that might work. But the Fiora shock treatments is more or less, I believe, this is just my opinion. Shock treatment only works in when you actually use it as a punishment type deal, and that's the best way to actually shock treatment would work. But I digress. I want to know something. Now, I guess they thought that the shock treatments, what I'm reading on this, helped out rearrange a patient's head and help develop it a little bit more, but it actually done a lot more damage. No, it's used sometimes here and there, but it's not the favorable one to use. Uh, he was deported to Mexico upon release. 6 years later, Corona was given a green card and returned to the United States legally alongside aside from schizophrenia episodes and reporting fiery temper. He was regarded as a hard worker. In 1962, the same year he returned to the United States, he became a licensed labor contractor, being put into charge of hiring workers to staff a local fruit ranches. In March 1970, Corona was again admitted to DeWitt State Hospital for treatment. A year later, in March 1971, he applied for welfare, and his application was denied. Nowadays, it's given away like candy. Anyways, evidence. On May 18th, 1971, a farm owner who had used Corona to contract field workers noticed a freshly dug hole in the peach yard, which was filled the next day. In the hole, he found the body of a man who had been stabbed and hacked. In one grade, deputies found one meat recipe bearing Corona's signature, and others 2 graves. There were 2 crumpled Bank of America deposit slips printed with Corona's name and address. This circumstantial evidence gave an added boost to the case. Witnesses later told police that some of the victims had been last seen riding in Corona's pickup truck. In the early morning hours of May 26, 1971, police earned Corona's Yabas City home with a search warrant and arrested him. Evidence indicating his guilt was discovered and seized. Now, evidence included his guilt was discovered and seized. Some was 2 blood-stained knives, a machete, a pistol, a blood-stained cloth. There was also a work ledger that contained 34 names and dates, including 7 unknown victims. The ledger came to be referred as the death list by the prosecutors, who alleged it's recorded the date the men were murdered. Corona had been supplying workers to the ranch where the victims were discovered. He housed many of the men who worked for him in the bunkhouse in Sylvania Ranch, where most of the victims were discovered. All of Corona victims were middle-aged Caucasian male drifters between the ages of 47 to 64, except for 3. Most of them have criminal records, and all but 1 were stabbed and slashed with the knife or machete. First one was Joseph Holuka, Cigar E. Pete Ehrman. 3 was John Doe. Another 4th one was John Doe. It was the John Doe number 1 of 3 of this list. Was the 4th victim, and the number 4 was the 7th victim found. William Ember Kemp, Clarence Hoker, another John Doe, Albert Lee Sketchy Hayes, Warren Jeremy Kelly, John Henry Jackson, Joseph J. Magzik, and Mark Beverly Shields, Donald Dale Red Smith, James Wiley Howard, Sam Bonafide. Bonafide. He's a bona fide person. I know. Edward Martin Coop, Charles Levy Fleming, John Ringo Smallwood, Robert J.T. Riley, uh, Lloyd Wallace Winsel, Paul Blue Allen, and it's spelled Buel, Raymond Reynold Munchin, Kenneth Edward Weicher, Milford Everett Semple, another John Doe, was the last 26th. During the legal proceedings, Coronado was provided legal aid and assistance from the public defender, Roy Van de Havel, who hired several psychologists to perform a psychological evaluation. Although the sheriff, Ron Winkler, said the prisoner was in no apparent and imminent danger from his fellow townsmen. Corona was moved to a new and larger county jail in Maysville on May 30th, 1971, for security reasons. On June 2nd, Coronado was returned to Sutter County for an arrangement which was closed to the media and public. A plea of not guilty was entered, and the date was set for Corona's primary hearing. By the time the search was determined on June 4th, a total of 25 male victims have been discovered, 4 of them unidentified. On June 14th, Van den Havel was replaced by Richard Hawk, a private retained defense attorney. In return for his legal representation, an agreement was made granting Hawk exclusive, liberal, and dramatic property rights to defend his life story, including the proceedings against him. Under their agreement, Corona waived the attorney-client privilege shortly after taking over the defense, and even before seeing Corona's medical record or reading any of the reports, Hawk decided against having him plead not guilty by reasons of insanity and fired the psychologist. Coronado complained of chest pains from his cell in Yuba City on June 18th and was taken to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with having had a mild heart attack. The grand jury returned a 25-count murder indictment against him on July 12th. In early August, Coronado was hospitalized, and after complaining of chest pains and saying he had not been able to sleep because of it. It took over a year after the murders were discovered for the case against Coronado to come to trial. The California Supreme Court voided the death penalty in the state on February 18th, 1972, ruling it unconstitutional and cruel and unusual. Therefore, it was not to be a capital case. Hawk succeeded in getting a change of venue to Sutter County to Sonoma County. The trial began in September 11th, 1972, at the courthouse in Fairfield, California, more than 60 miles or 100 kilometers from Yuba City. Jury selected took several weeks, and the trial another 3 months. Though Coronado denied culpability, he was also called to the stand to testify to his own defense, and no defense witness were called. The jury deliberated for 45 hours and returned a verdict on January 18th, 1973, finding Coronado guilty of first-degree murder on all 25 counts charged. The judge, Richard Patton, I wonder if he's related. No, probably not. General Patton. Sentenced Coronado to 25 terms of life imprisonment to run consecutively without the possibility of parole. Despite being sentenced to so many consecutive terms, the Department of Corrections said that Coronado will be eligible for parole in 7 years. Jeez. Okay, back then they didn't. They had almost a revolving door at times for murders and everything, and it baffled me. Nowadays, it's something like this that would not get released ever. Then all other convictions shall be merged and run concurrently. So basically, after the first 7 years, if you get parole, he would. Anyways, Coronado was first incarcerated in Vaticanville, California medical facility, 9 miles from Fairfield because of his heart irregularities. In 1973, he was stabbed 32 times in the cell because he had bumped into a fellow inmate in a corridor and failed to say "excuse me." Of the 5 men questioned, including one involved in the bumping incidents, one identified as the man sexual partner, and 3 inmates identified as friends of the partner. 4 were charged with assault with a deadly weapon. So basically, he bumped into a person that was gay, and his 3 partners were basically no, it was his sexual partner, and 3 of the. This is confusing. Hold on. Let me figure this out. Okay, of the 5 men, one was identified as the man that sexual partner. Okay, so 5 of them. One he bumped into. The other guy was the sexual partner, and 3 other inmates were friends of the partner. So the 3 friends, the 4. Okay, I gotcha. Still, 32 times and they still couldn't kill him. Jeez. Next time, try harder. Coronado was transferred to a correctional training facility in Sedona, California in 1974. His wife filed for divorce and was granted in July 1974. On the second trial, on May 18th, 1978, the California Court of Appeal granted Juan Carlona a new trial basis on his appeal and petition of writ of habeas corpus. And habeas corpus is, of course, to challenge the reason or condition of a person's confinement under color of law. A petition for habeas corpus is filed with a court that has jurisdiction over the custody, and if found granted, a writ to issue direct the custody to bring the confined. Okay. Filed by his lawyers Alan Axelrod and Michael Medelson. The appeals court based its decision on 2 prominent issues raised by the appeal counsel. First, trial counsel did not do its record legal or factual investigation required. Second, trial custodian obtained public rights as part of his fee creation and impersonal. Stephen Hawking, I have to get this word. I know it's probably going to be stupid easy, but I'm on a roll.
Impermissible.
God. Conflict between the trial counsel and Coronado. Second trial began in February 22nd, 1982 in Howard, California. Coronado's defense posted that the real murders of the ranch workers was most likely Navid Coronado, a known homosexual who was accused of attacking Romero Reyes at his cafe in Marysville. And after losing the lawsuit, Reyes filed and had fled back to his native Mexico. Now, Navida had died 8 years earlier in Guadalajara. Okay, I got that word. Sounded out. Yay! Guadalajara. This time around, more than 50 defense witnesses were called to the stand, and Terrence Hanana. I wonder if that Holnina. Oh, okay. This time, more than 50 defense witnesses were called to the stand by Terrence Holnina. Coronado was called to his own defense. He was asked only 2 questions, though an interpreter taking only 2 minutes. Do you understand the state has accused you of killing 25 men? Corona answered yes, almost inaudibly. Couldn't say it. Did you have anything to do with the killings of those men? No, Cronona replied. Helena then turned Cronona over to the prosecutors, Ronald Fahey, for cross-examination. Starting prosecution attorney request belief recessed to give their witnesses and prepare some of more than 630 exhibits for their case or witness examination. God, I'm not doing the right words. Yeah. Evidence. Exhibits for evidence. Sorry. Later, they questioned Cronona about various vans and cars he used at the ranch where he worked and where he lived, in which some weapons were found. Trial lasted 7 months. Cronona was again convicted of the crimes on September 23rd, 1982, and returned to prison after this strategy failed to and to persuade the jury, which deliberated for 54 hours over 2-week period of his innocence. Afterwards, the foreman told the press that the most incriminating piece of evidence against Corona was his working ledger, for which the labor contractor had no reasonable explanation. He said to the jury had dismissed the defense connecting that Navida committed the murders. He wasn't in Meredithville enough to have been committed the bulk of the killings, he said. Corona was transferred to the CTF at Sudan. Did they name a prison after him? No. Coraran, sorry. State prison in Coraran, California in 1992, where he served his life sentence in the sensitive need yard because of his dementia. He was denied parole 8 times. Corona died on March 4th, 2019, at the age of 85 in natural causes. Well, in the comments, if you want, go ahead and he did it. And if you look at the picture, and I'll put up a picture of him real quick. I should have got this beforehand, but I didn't. It's kind of, see here. No, there we go. And no. There we go. Yeah, this is pictures of him during the case and pictures of him later on, and then his death. It looks like he got stabbed in the eye and he got his eye removed, from what it looks like on that bottom right photo. I guess it would be on your guy's screen. Yeah, bottom right if you're looking at it. But this is a quick one, and it shouldn't have been a quick one. I tried to make it a little bit longer, but I couldn't find that much information. Even though literally the reason why he got his first lawyer was so he could sell the rights, and I couldn't find that much stuff on there. But anyways, quick ones, no big deal. I think next week I'm probably gonna try to do a big one. I've noticed and myself that I end up speaking a little bit clearly, and I can get these done pretty effectively without stopping that much. I do my due diligence now. I actually do read a little bit more into these people, and sometimes I can find a lot of information, sometimes I can't. Like I said, it's just me doing this stuff. But this is going on for these episodes. It's been going on for about probably about 2.5 years since me and Johnny started it. And the only reason Johnny can't do it that much is because he's going to school. He's bettering himself. So I'm don't mind it. Sometimes I have somebody come in and help me do these things, and sometimes I don't. Doing it by myself, I've actually learned and done a little bit better speeches and everything. So I've noticed in myself, and I'm glad I've actually done this because it is more or less getting me better with speaking with people and learning the English language. At now 45, I know took me a while, but reading the stuff up, and I mean it's a horrible way to do it because all I'm going to do is reading serial killers and psychopaths. But the next one's probably going to be a little bit tougher because it's going to be Russian. Because I'm going to actually go over, try to go over Stalin. It's probably going to be a two-parter, maybe a three-parter because a lot of stuff, depending on how much endurance I can get on with this. I really don't like to do the short ones. I like to give people, a long listening because, a lot of the people that actually do listen to it, truck drivers and people that are in cars all the time, you're going, to your job and everything, and you want to list something somewhat while you're on your way to work. And I understand this is what way most of my platform is actually gone. It's not at home or anything like that. It's in the background. And I understand that. And a lot of people don't. They want the big grip. They want the big money. I just don't really like enjoy doing this. I've had people on here that just connected with me through Facebook or through friends or whatnot, or through even YouTube, which we had Stephen Fisher. It was a great talk. I really liked the getting to know him a little bit more. A good guy. Please check out his episode. And once he gets going, he hasn't gotten back with me about way his stuff's going. But if you want to actually start doing something like this, little heads up, just do it for fun. Don't do it for the money. If the money comes, hooray, congratulations. Your hobby has become a part of your life, and it's actually beneficial. The wooden flag behind me, same thing. He did it for his grandfather, and it was a hobby, and he ended up making it a business. If you put your heart and soul into something, which I've done with this, I love talking to people and love talking about stuff, expanding my mind, basically, especially with talking with other people. But yeah, I really enjoy the people that actually do listen to us and give us a little bit of feedback. So if you want to give us feedback and everything, please do. I mean, I've had a couple of them. And it's like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, yes, I will fairly tell you at any point in time that I am pretty much mentally challenged. I'm pretty sure everybody has that opinion of me, but sometimes I have grains of thought that actually makes sense. And Kenny will be joining us after October. His time with the fire, volunteering with the fire department for the haunted house on the weekends is going to be over, and he's going to be doing us, not doing us, going in and doing the. We're going to do what the hell up more what the hell episodes. Hopefully, it doesn't all turn out to be what people call conspiracy theories. They're not going to be called conspiracy theory on our podcast. It's just theories on how things that people think the world is happening, and most of the theories are literally way out there. People's train of thought, or until it's actually proven right, is ridiculous. I'm gonna try to do a lot of new stuff, like I have been. I've just been popping back and forth on theories and validating news, which really sad. I saw a meme one day, and it was, is it sad that conspiracy theories aren't theories anymore, or are just theories now because they've been becoming true? And like with the COVID-19 pandemic, and I call it pandemic each and every time. Corona's a cold. It's documented as a cold. It's a very contagious cold, and your body wasn't ready for it. And it was genetically modified, that we found out. And the masks don't help at all. Now, if you had like a mask with a carbon filter on it, yeah. But there's a couple of studies that the masks were actually hindering you with your life. And there's still people that wear masks. I'm not condoning those people. Those people are still people. They're allowed to have their own opinion. If it's wrong from my opinion, then it's wrong from my opinion. It's going to be mine. But yeah, I like to live my life free from anybody telling me what to do. Now I had to, abide by stuff like work, so I can pay bills. I can get internet so I can share my not intelligent thought through everybody. But I think I've done this a couple of times, that I thank everybody that are listening to me, even this is like crazy rants that I have right now. Thank you all for listening. Honestly, thank you for the people that are helping me host this stuff. I've made really great friends doing this, and I made friends with the some of the fans, and I love every one of them. Love everybody that actually listens to my craziness. Hope it pen down like on the comments or anything, and even on the other podcasts that I've actually been on, which is technically only one, I think. Yeah, I've been on two. One of them was actually published and live, so but the second one was up in the air and they canceled it later down. I wish they'd keep it up. If you want to do but they're doing it for the business and money, and they were losing too much money. And I told them, was like, do it for fun. If you're not doing it for fun, then you're doing it for a business, and it doesn't pan out, you're out of that money, and you feel horrible about it. But I'm doing it for fun. I'm out a lot of money. It's for the grandeur that I want for this podcast. I'm still going into a little bit of debt, not debt, but but really love everybody that actually listens to us on a constant basis. Thank you very, very much. Bottom of my heart, Johnny said it before, Johnny Skelton, main host of Nerd Sports, because he likes to talk sports. But Chris Jaka, that we met on his travels with Black Rifle Coffee, who's become a brother of ours. Johnny's become a brother of mine. Kenny, brother of mine. I mean, the people that host this I consider my brothers, and I love them dearly, and I would drop everything to help them out. Yeah, I might not get an episode that week because if something like really horrible, where I can't do this stuff, they will come around that. People that's given us a chance, thank you all. Really, I just want to take that moment. I know it's like hard. It's my 4th year doing this. I was popping in and out, doing it every once in a while. And I take like 2 months off, and now I do it on a regular basis, and I really do like it. And thank you all for listening. Catch us later.